Hello, my name is Cody Humphrey, Director of Planning for La Plata Communities. Before I dive into the visioning aspect of Redlands 360 Community, I first would like to provide a general overview of the project. Redlands 360 consists of 624 acres and will be developed with a spectrum of residential products and a variety of active and passive recreational opportunities. It is anticipated that the community will have between 1,300 and 1,800 units at full build-out, creating an overall density range of 2.16 to 3 dwelling units per acre. The project also plans to incorporate roughly 3.2 acres of commercial property. When visiting the site, one of the first things that stands out are the 360-degree views of the surrounding natural areas, including the Colorado National Monument, Grand Mesa, and the Book Cliffs. Directly to the east, the property also has views down to the Redlands Mesa Golf Course and is located a short bike ride or drive away from the very popular Lunch Loop trail system. Due to the land being surrounded by existing development, the community can essentially be considered an infill project rather than another sprawling neighborhood consuming land on the outskirts of the city. Because of this location, the site itself is well positioned to be able to utilize existing city infrastructure adjacent to the property. As defined by CARS, which stands for Communities Achieving Responsive Services, a community vision can simply be described as an image of a community's future. It's a way to help define the direction of a community and serves as the beginning of the master planning process. The vision for Redlands 360 consists of 4 key elements, each playing a vital role in making this community a desirable place to live. These 4 elements include the land, the modern history, the views, and the amenities. The land always plays an important role in determining the vision of a community. However, the uniqueness of the Redlands 360 property is what will make this community special. A majority of the 624 acres sits on an elevated mesa that generally slopes to the north. The site has 4 major plateaus, which we have coined the Four Brothers, a play off the name of the Three Sisters Park. The Four Brothers, along with the existing natural features of the site, including the undulating topography, distinct drainage ways, and scattered vegetation, inspire the community planning to not only preserve as much of the character of the land, but enhance it in every opportunity we get. The following 4 specific elements of the land will be highlighted in the following slides. They are the overall character, the topography, the drainage patterns, and the Four Brothers plateaus. Here, several photos of the site showcase the variety of landforms and unique characteristics found on the property. Drastic variations of topography, large boulders, and existing vegetation are just a few of the on-site attributes that this project will look to preserve and enhance. Known as a slope analysis, this graphic depicts the various slope percentages based on the site topography. One major takeaway from this slide is the depiction of how much topography is on the site. 11% of the site, which equates to about 70 acres, is above 30% slope, which is considered non-developable. The second takeaway is when analyzing the slope analysis, one can see the consistent rhythm of the land created by the high and low points. This graphic clearly depicts the Four Brothers plateaus as well as the major drainage patterns of the site. This bird's eye view of the property looking north shows the undulation of the existing topography, as well as the drainage patterns in the shadows between the high points, lit up by the late afternoon sun. Again, another bird's eye view, this time looking east. Here you can clearly see the Four Brothers Plateaus. The rhythm of the existing topography is a unique feature the community aims to embrace. For better reference, this photo clearly depicts the distinct landforms of the Four Brothers Plateaus. Since the topography of a site is important when master planning any community, knowing where these plateaus are located on the property, what they look like, and what they are capable of are all critical aspects to developing an overall master plan that preserves and enhances these landforms. To many local residents, this property is known as the Water Tower Parcel. Many miles of social trails have been created throughout the decades of use by area residents. The stewardship shown by users and trail advocates is evident when hiking or biking the trails that currently exist on the property. With as many daily users there are on the property, the land remains unlittered and well maintained. We recognize the property's value as an open space amenity to local residents and are aiming to preserve several of the more popular trails along with hundreds of acres of open space. The following three specific elements of the modern history will be highlighted in the following slides. They are land stewardship, hiking and biking trails, and art and fun. For this reason, as we move through the master planning and detailed design of this community, the development team intends to incorporate hundreds of acres of open space, as well as preserve and enhance several of the more popular trails found on the property. The well-known gnomes that used to grace the pinyon pines in that area to the west also provided an artistic flair to the land and existing vegetation. To be clear, the gnomes were never actually located on our property and have since been removed, we assume by the artist. But because of the gnomes, locals knew exactly where you were when you talked about them. This is what we call placemaking. And finally, another fun addition to the land. It's obvious that the trail users have a sense of humor, with Mr. Skeleton here, and making sure he stays safe by wearing his face mask. The history of the property's use over the years is evident in many ways, and we want to continue to maintain this character instilled by its users. The views from the property are genuinely amazing. One can have a view of the Book Cliffs, Grand Mesa, and Colorado National Monument from multiple locations on site. The majority of the property's upper mesa also provides enough elevation to overlook the city of Grand Junction, to be able to enjoy the city lights at night. These 360-degree views are an important aspect that will drive much of the planning and community design. They are also the reason for the name Redlands 360. The following slides highlight the amazing views towards these four distinct natural features. They are the Colorado National Monument, the Book Cliffs, Grand Mesa, and Uncompahgre Plateau. Looking southwest towards the closest of the four natural features, the view towards the Colorado National Monument is a sight to behold. The towering Red Canyon plateaus are commanding of one's attention from many vantage points on the property. The Book Cliffs create the northern horizon when viewed from Redlands 360. The distinct crevices, shadows, and amazing color provide views that are unmatched. Looking east, the Grand Mesa stands tall with the rising full moon in the background. With its lush vegetation, the mesa has an imposing quality worth gazing at that complements the Book Cliffs and the National Monument. And finally, the Uncompadre Plateau to the southeast, with the Dominguez Escalante Conservation Area in the middle ground, is an incredible view worth taking in. It may be the furthest of the four options, but still holds its value as an important view from the property. The community will offer a variety of outdoor-focused amenities, both active and passive in nature. A multitude of public parks, open spaces, multi-use trails systems, enhanced landscaping, unique fencing and signage, and possibly community art are all elements of the amenity package envisioned for Redlands 360. The following four amenity types will be highlighted in the upcoming slides. They are parks and open space, trails, fencing and monumentation, and community landscaping. The attached images are just a sample of the type of public amenities that are planned for Redlands 360. A miniature incline, similar to the famous one in Manitou Springs, is being proposed to take advantage of the hillside slope of one of the Four Brothers plateaus. Trailhead facilities will provide residents and pedestrians easy access to the parks and open space. The community is also considering the use of art in strategic public locations to enhance one's experience of the community and add placemaking value. Active and passive park spaces will also be considered when designing the various public park nodes. The images on this slide represent the variety of different trail options that will be offered at Redlands 360, including single-track trails, soft surface, and hard surface trails. Signage will also play an important role in wayfinding throughout the community. The four different types of fencing we are proposing are the following. A modern take on the rustic zigzag fence, often found on desert ranches. The nod to the fence's distinct form recognizes the history of the fence, but puts a contemporary twist to the materials used to build it. This fence is known for its use on rocky terrain since no post holes are needed to build it, and it's easy to install. The second type of fence is the gabion wall. These types of walls have become more popular in recent years because of their rustic appeal and simplicity to build. Rocks dug up from the site are typically used to build these walls. Again, the wall does not need a footer, which makes it ideal for the use in rocky terrain. The common wall, which is the third type of fence that we would use to designate the boundary between home lots and community tracts and open space. This opaque wall provides a certain level of privacy for home buyers, as well as signifies special places within the community, such as entry points. And finally, the community fence, similar to the common wall, would be installed along lot lines where homes live out to community open space. A more transparent fence of this nature also allows for the feel of the open space to extend into the homeowners' yards, making open space swaths feel larger and more inviting. And finally, this collection of photos depict the potential community landscaping for Redlands 360. Xeriscaping, or low water use shrubs, trees, and perennials, will be considered when landscaping common areas, parks, and open spaces. Color and art will be used strategically to help keep common areas interesting and alive with energy. Turf will be used very minimally, only to create an oasis effect in parks and entry monumentations. Overall, the community amenities will be used to bring to life the vision that has been established for Redlands 360. Before we transition to the overall master plan, we would like to share with you the design drivers behind the Redlands 360 community. These design drivers were derived from the community visioning process to encapsulate the overall intentions of the master plan. We will use these design drivers in the future to help guide our decision-making through the life of the development. The first design driver states, create a master plan community that focuses on promoting a pedestrian-oriented atmosphere, an inclusive culture, and an outdoor lifestyle unmatched by any community within Grand Junction. The second states, commit to putting the pedestrian first, where uninterrupted open space and a variety of trail types offer a safe alternative means of transportation for the residents throughout the entirety of the community. The third design driver states, celebrate the amazing 360-degree vistas, unique landforms, such as the Four Brothers, and the social trails found on the site through a conscious effort of preservation and enhancement. The fourth states, offer a variety of amenities specifically geared towards getting residents and families to be outdoors and active within the community. The fifth design driver states, provide a mix of housing product and architectural types that establish a unique community character at a variety of price points. And the final design driver states, provide enhanced community landscaping that is water conserving, xeric in nature, and appropriately fits the existing geography of the Colorado Plateau. I would like to now pass on the presentation to Ted Chavone, Principal Planner for Redlands 360 Community and the owner at Chavone, Roberts & Associates, Inc., a local planning and landscape architecture firm here in Grand Junction. Ted will be presenting the various aspects of the proposed outline development plan, as well as the planned development zone.
La Plata Communities, LLC has recently submitted an annexation request for approximately 240 acres of land, as well as a plus 600-acre metro district, and is now seeking to incorporate this action with specific additional entitlements to allow the efficient assembly, planning, and zoning of a unified 600-acre planned development. The planned development is for a mixture of single-family residential lots, multifamily residential lots, and up to 30,000 square feet of limited commercial space. The project location can be generally described as south and east of the intersection of the Redlands Parkway and South Camp Road. There are 5 parcels that make up the 600-acre project, and all are vacant. There is a Bureau of Land Management parcel that abuts to the south. The site is predominantly northeast of the base of the Ute water storage tanks. It slopes to the northeast and is elevated with spectacular panoramic views of the valley. It is dry with sandy to rocky soil conditions and limited rock outcrops. There is about 300 feet of elevation change and a little over a mile across the property, with a number of undulating drainage areas and hills. The property currently has a gated dirt road that is primarily for Ute water to access their facilities. Preliminary discussions with planning staff supported creating an outline development plan, or ODP, with a planned development zone to best achieve this residential planned community. As noted above, city code processes for annexation in Metro District were initiated in advance of this ODP and PD zone submittal. To restate and simplify the intent of the entitlement requests, we propose annexing 2 parcels under a PD zone, that'd be parcels 3 and 4, rezoning 1 parcel from R4 to PD, that would be parcel 2, and providing an outline development plan in conjunction with the requested PD zone on all 5 parcels. This is the existing zoning, and the area within the project boundary that has no color is the property that is currently in the county and being annexed. You can see that there is significant acreage within the project area that is zoned planned development, but is without an underlying plan, and current allowed density ranges cannot be determined by existing zoning, but a current density range can be determined by the existing future land use designation. There are 6 existing future land use designations within the Redlands 360 600 acres. Conservation, residential low, residential medium low, residential medium high, and neighborhood center. Allowed density ranges within all 6 of these existing future land use designations results in a very wide potential diversity spread of 850 units, which is 1.4 units per acre, to 7,225 units, or 12.1 units per acre. This potentially allowed density range may not be realistic, but it is a range of 1.4 to 12.1 units per acre, and a comparison number to what is being proposed within Redlands 360, which is 2.6 to 3 units per acre. There is a purposeful flexibility in the Redlands 360 outline development plan request for a mixture of 1,200 to 1,400 single-family residential lots and 100 to 400 multifamily units, providing a total unit range of 1,300 to 1,800 units, which is the 2.6 to 3 units per acre noted above. Zoning and future land use are guiding documents from the city, along with the city circulation plan. The Grand Junction Circulation Plan is an adopted document that denotes the existing and proposed road types and standards. In the exhibit, you can see that Broadway, or Highway 340, in red, is designated as a principal arterial, that the Redlands Parkway and South Camp in dark blue are designated as major collectors, Renaissance Boulevard and Canyon Rim Drive in light blue are designated as minor collectors, and 2 proposed roads through the property in dashed yellow are denoted as unclassified, signaling that the classification could be determined with the project. The circulation plan also proposes access points into the property. This concept diagram begins to address the vision and goals desired in the Redlands 360 development, incorporating the natural features and existing amenities of the site, along with the city documents and guidelines that address zoning, density, traffic, circulation, and more. This concept supports the community vision to preserve natural features such as the Four Brothers, existing vegetation, and drainage ways that maintain the character of the land, designed for large open space swaths with minimal interruptions from intersecting roads, creating a safe and inviting experience for all users. Create 6 defined neighborhoods, each with a set of unique attributes, interconnected through trails and open space, and provide a simple but effective road system that allows for easy vehicular access throughout the community. This exhibit is the backbone of what we will be submitting to the city as the outline development plan. The plan does not change, but there will be additional information on the boundary, the bulk zoning dimensional standards, the underlying zoning, and other criteria. The outline development plan includes approximately 3.2 acres of commercial, shown in red, 54 acres of multifamily high-density product, shown in purple, 345 acres of single-family product, shown in blue, and 198 acres of open space, shown in green. The open space, which is more than 30% of the property, surrounds the residential planned community, respects the natural conditions of the site, preserves the existing rim trails, and legitimizes other significant existing bike and hike trails. This illustrative provides more information on what the overall vision is for the planned community. Using the property boundary and the proposed roads as your orientation, we want to show how the Redlands 360 proposed community works with the land. This slide is showing the placement and approximate sizes of differing housing product types. There is purposeful diversity. It also shows the primary trails and open space surrounding and dissecting the community. And it shows potential ponds and detention areas. The property does have a number of irrigation shares that will be sparingly used. This slope map has been distilled to just show where the steeper slopes are on the property. Slopes greater than 30% are shown in red and have been purposefully designated as open space to be sensitive to the property and the views. Note that the four brothers, the high points within the site, have been protected from development, as has much of the rim area. Likewise, open space has been designated for the three primary drainages that traverse the property. Incorporating the vision, the goals, and the concept, we have paid attention to trails and trail types, both existing and proposed. We have identified historic on- and off-site trails, new on-site trails, and recognized new future trails out of development pods to make everyone connected. We are planning on a complete loop of an 8-foot wide detached trail that primarily parallels the road system, the green line. We are preserving and expanding trailheads, the red asterisks. Note the existing trail across the BLM parcel, which we would want to see made permanent. You will also see additional green space that is preserving ridges and existing primary bike trails. Returning to the site illustrative and synthesizing the various overlays presented that address the sensitivity the proposed development is making to the current uses, the land, and the surroundings, we provide a little more detail on the proposed Redlands 360 community. There are 4 access points into the project, 3 of which are on the city circulation plan. 23 Road with a reconfigured intersection with South Broadway and maintaining the trailhead. Easter Hill Drive, where a trailhead currently exists. The Redlands Parkway is a relocation from Renaissance Boulevard because the connection from Renaissance Boulevard was prohibited by grade. The shift over to Redlands Parkway removes the awkwardness of backtracking through the Renaissance neighborhood. There will still be a connection to Athens Way, which is an existing stub road into the project. And Canyon Run Drive to the south. This connection has been studied the most, and there are some components of the road moving forward. Narrow road sections were approved through the Canyon Rim 360 parcel for traffic calming. The Redlands 360 team, along with the city, has been working with the Bureau of Land Management for crossing their property. The proposed road plan incorporates deterrence to better distribute traffic in and out of Redlands 360. Specifically, this project is purposefully not connecting the upper road system below the Ute water tank into a loop. This is not part of our vision nor our plan, although we do support a pedestrian trail connection along this alignment. We are anticipating resistance from the city on this, as they have indicated a desire for the looped connection. The community will be diverse in its housing products. It will provide everything from multifamily to patio homes, to multiple single-family selections, to custom homes. This illustrative utilized varying lot widths of 50-foot, 60-foot, and 70-foot for the single-family products, but ultimately will not be strictly tied to those widths. Views will be primarily consideration as neighborhoods get designed, as will their trail connections to the open space. The illustrative identifies open space and the existing bike trails along the ridges and within the drainages. And within the open space, there will be new trails and amenities and art and wayfinding elements. There will also be developed parks within the open space areas, pocket parks and neighborhood parks, which will have irrigated play areas with playgrounds and or exercise equipment, possibly shelters with tables and barbecues. Trailheads have been identified for limited designated parking to the existing trails and to new biking and hiking trails. The vision is for limited irrigation for rehabilitation of disturbed areas, for highlighting streetscapes and entries, and for creating specific park areas. There will not be an irrigation provided to the single-family homes, as the vision is for an enhanced desert or xeric look and not large irrigated turf areas. Our next to final slide is the current thinking on phasing. The city requires some targets on phasing in order to track it. The plotted community sees Redlands 360 as a long-term 20 to 25 project, and thus the phases are spread out to that time window. The phasing plan is really a best guess on order of phases, and it could change. The plan is not haphazard, and it is integral to the other plans and documents prepared or being prepared. It tries to get some product mixtures into each phase, but it needs to be able to be responsive to market conditions. This concludes the presentation for Redlands 360. The information provided within this slide presentation will be presented live at the neighborhood meetings.